Greetings everyone, TimeRider here. I don't know about you, but I'm trapped in a month of Sundays. And truth be told, I guess it's going to be followed by yet another month of Sundays. So I hope you like my work, because you're probably going to see a lot of it. Month of Sundays. Who'da thunk? Today I'm bringing you a casting from the Redline series, and no, I am not going to do any cutting. Hot Wheels produced this as a one-off casting in 1969. It was manufactured in a wide variety of Spectraflame colors and British Racing green enamel, the latter coming with yellow number plates bearing the number 10 and racing stripes, and as they were stickers, they looked like shit. This one came to me from my fellow mouse George Hodges. I set out to restore it, and as luck would have it, it turned into a RestoMod, so stick around. So this particular casting was held together with two posts, and I guess the actual term is spun posts. And that means that I have to, punch a pilot so that I can drill out the post. They were really small posts, too. I was dubious about whether or not I'd be able to put button screws in this, and eventually I just decided not to try for fear that I would blow these posts out. Once it came apart, this toy had been played with pretty heavily. I still want to clean up all the posts that go through the chassis. The back piece was like only held on one side, the engine cowling. The Spectraflame on this looked almost like they just put it over gray metal. It didn't really look like there was any state of polish. Into the ooze she goes, though. Shake for luck. I cleaned it up with a wire wheel and everything that I normally do. And I'm sorry I don't have footage of that. I've been losing a lot of footage lately. But anyway, once I got all done with that, I looked at it and thought, I really think if I want to bring out the best in the Spectraflame, I'm going to need to try to polish this, and to that end, I'm going to clean it with lacquer thinner, and then I'm going to plate it in zinc solution. And I don't know why the solution turned red, it just did. I mean, I don't use it that often, and I keep it in a dark closet, so I think it's odd. But anyway, after I got done plating it, it was time to take some steel wool and clean up the casting to see how the plating turned out. And right away you can see there's a little spot on the left rear quarter panel that survived that plating process. So I cleaned up the rest of the casting, and then I plated it again. And so I'm going to be cleaning that up with some steel wool. It doesn't look too bad on the surface, but I can assure you that looks can be deceiving. Lola they built chassis more so than engines and things of that nature, and a lot of the best Lolas were Chevy engines. Anyway, I got done with that particular cleanup process, and you can still see that little spot, but I thought I might be able to survive the Spectraflame. So I went about, polishing it further with some mothers. And this is just cream polish, so it really shouldn't do anything bad. But when I was cleaning the polish off, this is what I found. Can you see it? Here, let me sharpen it for you. Can you see it? Well, this was true all over the casting, too. That's where the zinc came off. And this is the problem I have, and it doesn't matter. I've tried 18 ways of cleaning the casting, and I've tried 18 ways of plating it, and I've tried 18 ways of polishing it after I'm done, and invariably In most of the zinc plating that I do, an area like this occurs where the zinc plating doesn't stick. So at that point I thought, you know, I'll just shoot base coat on it and Spectraflame over the base coat. It still should look pretty good. The problem, of course, was that once you have that plating come off, it's uneven and you can't hide that. So it makes a lot of work, because what you really have to do is sand and sand and sand and sand until all that plating is smooth or removed. And then you have to prime it. And the primer fills the imperfections in the casting. And after that, I then put base coat on it, followed by Spectraflame Clear. And I can tell you unequivocally that this casting was not done with me. I was painting the base, or the Spectraflame Clear, and I got what Paul over at Fat Guy calls a woolly booger. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I've got, this is lacquer thinner. I didn't tape this off, partly because there's a small piece of the casting that intersects with the engine. And so I can't tape it off at the engine housing because I need to paint that little piece on the bottom. You kind of see it there. And I just thought, well, I'm going to have to clean the damn thing, so I didn't care. But there's my woolly booger, right? But woolly booger right there. And about all you can do is try to smooth it out. The problem is that it's in the paint. And there's something in there, a piece of thread or a dog hair, who the hell knows. So I take my file and I'm going to try to get away with this, and I sand it smooth as I can get it. And in doing so, you expose that little piece of thread, and you can try to get it out. But the thing is, it's like embedded in the paint. So I took a little bit of Spectraflame here. You can kind of see it moving around there if you look real close, the little thread that's in there. By putting the Spectraflame on there, it kind of loosens up the paint underneath it. That's one thing it does, and the other thing it does is hopefully it'll help you repair your erred area. Because one thing I will say about Spectraflame is it can be pretty forgiving as far as how it levels. So I got the area, you know, pretty good and wet. And then I was able to grab that little booger and pull it out. And once I did that, I painted the area with Spectraflame blue. Now we'll step away from that and go back to some routine chores like cleaning the inside and cleaning the glass with my soapy water and electric toothbrush. You know, Steve McQueen did a movie called The Mons, and almost all of the Porsche 917s and Ferrari 512s that crashed in the movie were actually GT70s. We gotta gauzy this up. In 1968, the GT70 set the South African land speed record, with an average two-way speed of 191.8. Going to clean up the bottom of the casting with the wire brush. I still have the old wheels on there, and I'm brushing it, and I can see that there's actually a lot of that chalky corrosion that's really common on these open or bare metal castings. So I decided to give that a little more attention, but first I needed to get these wheels off. The GT70, probably in its heyday, 1969, and probably its biggest success, was a 1-2 finish at the 24 Hours of Daytona in 1969. I see a lot of people do this. I just, instead of trying to pull them off and perhaps ruining the bearing, you just cut them in half. They're not any good anymore anyway, so. And then Got to get my crud cutter, which is Annandale's answer to Lime Away. And we're going to soak this a little bit. We'll drop that casting in and give it about 10 minutes to cook. And I don't know about you, but I think it turned out really nice. You can still see a little pebbling in there, but that's alright. So I'm going to try using Spectraflame, or I shouldn't call it Spectraflame, Redline Shop Clear. To see if I can kind of cheat a little bit and get the clear to level out the Spectraflame in that little channel. And you never know, maybe I can get away with this. By the way, if you want to own one of these, there's still several companies that make replica kits. And as you can see, I'm not going to get away with it. That channel has still got a lot of lumpiness to it. So really, you kind of find yourself confronted with a decision at this point. If you're me, you got two choices. You can try to hide it, or you can strip it and paint it all over again. What I'm going to do here is show you how a custom can sometimes be easier than a restoration. I'm going to clean all this paint out of the channel. And what I'm doing here is I'm running down the edge, and you watch, I'm going to be able to peel this right off to the edge. Boom, there you go. And I took all the paint out of the channel. You know, under normal circumstances, I probably would strip it and paint it. But I'm doing so many cars right now, and I actually kind of wanted to show what I'm talking about when I say that doing customs is sometimes easier than doing restorations, because restorations are so unforgiving. You can't have that kind of a pimple on a restoration without it being obvious. And I don't know, some people I guess are probably okay with that. I'm not. So yeah, I taped off the channel, and then I painted it with black primer and followed that up with semi-gloss black paint from Tamiya. So it's not going to be a restoration. I can live with that. Let's go back to where we started, because, you know, my project was kind of a long one, and it was filled with missteps and things that I needed to do twice, sometimes 3 times. But it was a nice little casting, and I liked it. It was kind of a simple casting in a lot of ways. But anyway, that said, how about we take a look at where I wound up. Well, there you have it. The Hot Wheels Lola GT70 RestoMod with some shiny new wheels. It's going to be an episode of The Bench following the video. I hope you like it. This is TimeRider, and I'll leave the light on for you. Hey, thanks for hanging around for this edition of The Bench. And while I clean my airbrush, which is something that I've been doing an inordinately large amount of the time lately, I hope you don't mind if I get on my soapbox for a second before we get to the good stuff. I get it that YouTube is essentially social media, and at the same time, as a YouTube publisher, I'm responsible for the content on my channel, and to me that includes the contents. In a sense, you're in my living room. Now, I'm not monetized, and I don't owe anything to anybody. So if I make a comment about a product, it's genuinely based on my first-hand experience. Somebody came onto my channel and in the comments section did a product review of this Iwata airbrush. Now, to that person, let me say, first of all, that it's not polite to go into somebody else's channel and do a negative product review. I wouldn't go on Austin's channel and talk about if I think Createx paint sucks. It would be bad form. If I'm going to say anything about Createx paint on Austin's channel, it's going to be good. So if you're going to come on here and evaluate a product, it should either be in the form of a question about how to do something better, or it should be a good comment. If it's a bad comment, take it up with Iwata. And, because I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't know if maybe you don't know what you're doing. So please, everybody, don't be putting negative product reviews in my comments. I won't allow it. And now that I'll get off on my soapbox here, and we'll get to some of the good stuff. I've been doing 3 videos a week, and with 3 videos going out, that means I have to start new projects. Anybody know what this is? Ha! Steve Wilson over in the UK sent me this heavyweight. There's something wrong with the back axle. I'll figure it out when I get it apart, but I'm going to make me a little truck. Yeah, Mark is doing that public safety build for May 1st, and I asked him if I could include this squad car in it, and he said yes, so I'm filing some casting lines off. Be sure to make a trip over there and to his channel. I'll put a link below, and you can see his work. And then I dug this out. I did one of these one time as a Seafoam Green, one of the rare Matchboxes, but I've never actually done a regular restore, so I think I might do that. I was actually looking for something else when I dug this out of my inventory, and I got this from my benefactor down in Florida, the J-Man, and it's already been split and painted, and it's not like a horrible paint job or anything. I bet those little pips will tell me something about it, too. But anyway, I think I'm going to go for just a little bit lighter, which was more traditional. Gotta love a rolls, eh? Now, I don't know about anybody else, but man, I've been jonesing for a springtime fix. I took this picture in 2013 out at the Como Zoo. What do they call it? An arboretum? Beautiful, beautiful lily here. Anyway, I hope everybody is safe and healthy, and our governor just told us we're going to be sitting on our ass for another month, so I look forward to making some more videos. If you're going to comment, please keep your comments respectful, and remember, no product reviews on Lee's channel. It really makes him mad. This is TimeRider. I hope everybody's having a great day.